Okay, good morning everybody. While you're coming in, I'm just gonna erase this little board here. Yeah, things are changing. We're moving in a new direction now. We're talking about new things because Aries season is gone and done with. Okay, so, let's see. So, everybody, good morning. I'm Trevia Truck, and welcome to Taurus Club S. Just a little bit of, just a reminder that, we have combined club and class together. And I don't want you to worry about this right here, because I'm not meaning anything by it. I'm not meaning the A word whatsoever. It's just what happens to that combination. So, Club S. So, I'm not talking about the ASS word. That is not what I'm going to be referring to when I say that, unless I'm, like, ticked or something. But, no, I've combined it. So, a club and a class. Okay? And I'm actually going to erase the circle now that you know what I'm talking about. Now I don't want to see it there. So it's a club and a class together. It's a club because it is optional and you can come here. It's a class because it's, you know, how it's set up and how it works and what we're doing. So the phrase that I put down just as just a little introduction is Taurus, Venus's simple lover. So we're going to talk about this phrase just a little bit later, but one thing that I want you, one thing that we're going to focus on is we're going to be tying Taurus into Alice Waters. Alice Waters. That is our person for this club, is Alice Waters. And we're going to find out who she is, get into her biography, her synopsis, and how she became famous. And because she was a Taurus, her birthday was on April 28th, and so we're going to talk about during this club. As we're going through the different sections, we're going to tie it back to this woman's story on why she was famous and how she channeled the Taurus energy. And so a couple of short little rules that I just want to, just guidelines that I just want to clear out before anything else, is to be open-minded. Obviously, open-mindedness is a good thing to have. One thing is channel. I should have put this for Aries Club, but channel Taurus energy. Not that you have to do this, but figure out some way during, from today all the way through the 19th of May, oh that rhymes, how you can channel the energy of Taurus by how you're speaking, what you're saying, how you're doing something, what you're doing, blah blah blah. Okay, so that's something that so channeling means showing it in some way. And we're going to get into, Taurus and you should all know just a basic synopsis of this zodiac sign, right? The second sign, it's ruled by Venus in the second house, which rules materialistic. You know that it's represented by the bull. It's a grounded, structural, stable sign that likes the values and finer things in life, such as all of its simple pleasures, and likes to keep that personal. So that's basically most of all that you should know about it going into this. Okay? The next thing that I'm going to talk about here, and I know I'm just getting right into it, writing on the board, but you have, we're going to be doing the reading off of these tablets. These tablets right here, these, on the Kindles. The reason being is because we did not want to invest the money in Amazon to have to buy physical books when there was not space. So we had these before this whole quarantine even begun, and so we thought that we'd use them. So we went and bought books on the same book on all of these Kindles, which is the Taurus Sun Sign book, with the sign, the date range, and the constellation, and the author, and what's on the back of it. And we copied that tablet over to match the size of all of you guys and your volume in terms of how many you are, as we have access to cloning machines. So that's what we decided to do to save money, and because that was a good alternative. So you will be reading this through a Kindle, okay? And the thing that is good about a Kindle is that you can easily flip back and forth and up and down, and you can even and I think what it does is you can see the text a little bit easier and clearer, where it kind of separates the information into smaller chunks to make it easier to consume it, and making it more easy to read and allowing you more focus on that thing, where you don't get glossed with like a whole big page of words. It's chunked up and it is less overwhelming, because your eyes read before your mind. Just like your eyes eat before your stomach. So that's the upside to having the Kindle. Make sure that when you get your Kindle, that you do not lose it, and you are responsible with it, and you keep track of it. Okay. So, that's just what I wanted to clear away right off the bat, and we might just actually get just into just a little bit of reading. But, what I might have you do is we might, read a little bit about the bull, actually. So, I'm just going to write down a couple famous Taurians. First of all, there was a couple SNL actresses. The first being, today is Adolf Hitler's birthday, so he would be on the Aries Taurus cusp. Of which we're on right now. Tina Fey is also a Taurus. Tina Fey is also a Taurus. She is a really famous actress who played in Muppets Most Wanted, which is a Muppets movie about where there was two versions of Hermit. There was one that comes, there was a normal one, and then there was another one that is just this villain, this prisoner at a Russian gulag, who gets out and escapes, if you didn't see the story already. And so Tina Fey plays the lady in charge, the head who runs the gulag, which is like what they call it, the big house, that little catchy fun song that they do. Which that is the prison. So, she kind of has like a little trailer, fooling introduction to it that is of persuasion. Making something much nicer out of just a prison, which she does. So he escapes, and then he replaces Kermit, and he has a little black dot on his face, of which he put that on Kermit, making him think that it was the other one. His name was Constantine. So then he gets taken away, and that was the other one. That was, Kermit gets put into jail after being thought to be the other one, but voice difference. So that is really the synopsis of the movie. And then there's this one guy who is like the assistant who works with, that fools them, thinking that he's a good guy because his last name is Badgie, or bad guy, when he really is. Sometimes last names can be obvious in that manner, but so he fools them, thinking that he is a good person, and helps them out and is with them. But he really wants to steal this diamond or something, with plotting plans and things. So that's Tina Fey, who is a Taurus. She's born on May 18th, and she has a Russian accent. She plays a good fun role in that. She plays in SNL, several different skits in SNL. If you go on there, then you can find her there on SNL. There's also Aidy Brandt, whose birthday will be the middle day of the show and tell days, which her birthday is May 7th. May 7th, which will be the second and middle day of the, as I just said. So it's the 6th, 7th, and 8th. And I know that I might have told some of you already. Some of you know. We will talk more about this later. What's coming up rather quickly, so I'm gonna give it a couple days, and that's where you can start prepping for that. Okay, but it's a show and tell day, which is one of your projects for this Taurus season. Okay, so her birthday is May 7th. She is also an actor on SNL. Who played in several skits, and I wonder if her rising is in Leo. So that's another Taurus. There's also Kenan Thompson, who is surprisingly Emma Thompson's husband. He has also played in SNL on May 10th, and he reminds me of a couple others, including someone from Food Network Star Season 14. But so, this is what I want to tell you about. Now, the next thing that I just want to cover real quickly is when we meet. We will not be meeting every day. We will try to be meeting every couple of days or every other day. And it all depends on what I have planned and how ready and how energetic, I'm feeling, because I just want to tell you also that I will be reading and learning along with you, so that it makes it, interesting for me. So, so that's when we'll be meeting. We'll be meeting at this time around 10:05, probably meeting, about 10:05 or 10:10. That's about the time when we're meeting, so get here before then, okay? And I will be emailing you. I will be notifying you probably on the announcements when the meetings will be and what will go on during that meeting and blah blah blah. So, and also the things that you need for the meeting. Today's the first day of Taurus season, April 20th. Moon is in Aries, and as you can see that Taurus sky out there, and after I'm done, I think that would be a good idea for all you to get outside and get some fresh air. So, open-mindedness, as I talked about. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is Aries season was just, why did it have to be Aries season? Because there was this big thing with a family medical appointment, and so we had to continue and it took up the most Aries season where everybody had to go to Corning, and I had to find an alternative to teach the club, and I don't think that we'll have to have that this year. Not that much, although I will get to something a little bit later. But last year we stayed for like 2 to almost 3 weeks where I had to do the continuation of trying to teach the Aries Club, and I could have discussed the information the last couple of days, but I just thought that was silly, and it was just, it would be way too exhausting because we already, read, and the book was pretty self-explanatory, so I blamed it on that. I let the book do the explaining, but I think that this Taurus season will be more of a normal season where I can really sit down and focus and take things more seriously than I did for the other Aries season. We'll be here for the most of it. We'll be here for Taurus season for the most of it. I'm in this comfortable space with all these things. Now, I just want to tell you that on April 30th, we are probably going to have to go down to Corning again for another medical appointment, which will not take very long, and we might have to have, just depending on what the day is, because Labor Club will be meeting probably every other day, and you'll be meeting like a couple of days from now. It just all depends, so we might not even be meeting during that time. Depends on how long we're down there. If we have a day where this meets, then maybe I don't really know. Maybe during every odd number of the month, this club will be meeting. But, and every even number, the Labor one will be meeting. But it all depends. That's something that I just want to tell you about in advance, and I will talk more about that later. And I think that on the 23rd would be a really good day to start prepping for the big project, which is your show and tell. And I know that the idea might sound kiddish or elementary, but it doesn't have to be. It's just they do it typically in elementary school, where you remember doing show and tell. I remember doing it when I was in first grade or maybe kindergarten. I did it, but it's an opportunity for all of the Amenton leaders and all of the guests and Amenton staff, all everybody close. So, going back from places far and wide, going back to about 2009, where things were just getting started, and the earliest Amenton people from Big Gross' Amenton will show up. So there's going to be a lot, because like all of the Amentons are going astrological now. New Heights is going astrological, which is a company that is also we are funded by is New Heights, and one of the other wood members is the head of it. I forget her name, but so that's what's going to happen. We're going to have valuable object, a dish, art piece, whatever, some Victorian, that you love, that you hold dear close to heart, one of your simple pleasures, and you'll have a speech and a written portion. And I will get more into all of that information and all of that criteria for that when we get there. I'll take you through whole criterias and rubrics. And I think that on the 23rd, we'll just kind of just get started into it. And from that point to the 6th, 7th, and 8th of May, it will be kind of be cut and shot, tight, where there'll be certain due dates to get things done, and you really need to make sure that you're meeting those due dates. So if you just want to get started on it now and just at least find something, that would be excellent. I think I might make it the 22nd actually, so 2 days from now. So if you want to get started, that's great, although I really haven't put a lot of information out there about that yet. I will, though. So that's one thing that I want to tell you about. So then the next couple of things, for getting the reading done. Getting the reading done, which you'll have more on the opportunity to do that, where you, just depending on how long the sections are and how important the information, you might need to read less some days, you might need to read more, it just all depends on what we're covering, and how long the sections are. So, if they're shorter, then maybe the whole thing. If they're longer, then maybe break it up. What I'll have you do is I'll put several online sources, just like I did the last one. Some of those things include Deborah Silverman Astrology, a Taurus videos all about Taurus, Discover Your True Self, 2 men discussing it. So many other things, including a PDF of all the different sections of the book on all the different tabs, outlined with underlined most important points, and also just breaking down the different subsections of that on each section. So there'll be a page, and there'll be a class page, which I'll link to on my website, my page that you'll go to. For every section, there will be different tabs, which you can click on for that section. I'll give a list of, activities, and I'll put, some ways, all kinds of things. You'll see it laid out as we go along. So, get the reading done, because we'll be discussing here. We'll be discussing what we're reading when you come back, so you probably have a day or a couple days to do that. So that's something that I just want to tell you about now. The next thing is, your projects. So, if I had to, because I have the announcements board here that I wrote on the other day. Now, you have 2. You have the, on the big one, and then after, for the remainder, is a very, very simple one. It's just a Taurian interest one. Taurian interest. And we're going to do this after, because we want to put the big top, the huge one first of all. And then the small one after that. And this marker is dead, so I'm going to get another marker. So the next one is going to be Taurian interest. So you're going to branch out from the norm, which is Taurus is all about stability, the same things that it loves over and over again. We're going to add a little bit of a Gemini Sagittarius, of which, Taurus squares Leo and Aquarius. So Aquarius is all about, it's all about change. It's unpredictable. So changing, this is an Aquarius club, but so Taurus Taurian interest. What that's going to be is finding a Taurian interest, finding something that you are interested in. Try to branch out to something that you've never done, and that you'd like to do, and do it for just a certain number of days. Write that thing down, put evidence, and write just a little reflection in it, on just a little a chart, just a little like a reflection chart. And so also with that is the very last thing which you're going to do on the Taurus Gemini cusp is finding a love and career a career for Taurus careers. And what I just had the Aries thing do, because I was just getting set up with this whole astrological club thing, but now it's more planned out. Things might come to me, down the line. But so anyway, they just wrote down what would be a good career for Aries, but you're just gonna write just like a little, like, make a sort of documental presentation about a career that would be good for Taurus, why, and finding a career that wouldn't be, and why would it dislike, or why would it like, based on the Taurus zodiac sign, all this connected to astrology. So we'll get, we'll break down each one when the time comes. So you don't need to worry about those things right now. I will talk about them when we get to that point in, just, like, I don't know, 20 days into the future, or 19 days into the future in May. But let's focus on the present right now and what we have going for us right now. So the next thing that I want to talk about is this little phrase right here, which is Venus' slow, simple lover. Taurus is ruled by Venus. And this is the reason why we're doing Libra on Clubhouse additionally, because they're both ruled by the same planet, because I'm interested in both at the moment. So we just figure we have Venus season. So this is one of the signs ruled by Venus. Libra is the other, which is Aries polarity. That's another reason. So that's my moon sign also. So Venus, Taurus is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love, and what you care about most about friendship. We'll get into what Venus is, but a slow. Taurus is a very slow sign. Simple, lives life simply, and loves, treats everyone like their family. It's a very loyal sign. Like, once they are attached to somebody that they care about, they will do anything for them, and they will protect them, and they will be there, and they will have their back. And it can be a kind of a pushy love, and I think I had a special education teacher and a family member born under the sign, but let's talk about the special ed teacher. But so I had a special education teacher who had a pushy, very professional in business quality. With that bullheadedness and pushiness, so it comes with more of a pushy love, pushing others, putting rules and restrictions and regulations, doing it out of love. Very grounded and practical love, which is Taurus is an earth sign, which that is. So it's very grounded and down to earth. So it's very, very different from the Aries that we just talked about. So we're entering a whole new world now. So this is that. Taurus is my Mercury. So Taurus, Venus is simple lover there. And so that's your little phrase there. So, we're going to get started and get into just an introduction to astrology, really. And we're going to get into the reading coming up in just a couple of days, actually, because I didn't want to put that on you right now. And we might just happen to, I might just email you later if we happen to meet later in the day, just this one time. Because this meets today and the Libra would meet tomorrow. Libra meets tomorrow. So, well, no, actually, both of them are meeting today. Both Taurus, no. Taurus meets today, Libra meets tomorrow. So, sometime later today, we'll come back and get into it a little bit. So, that is what I want to say for now. Thank you all for coming and joining me. You can all have a nice and wonderful morning. And Taurus Club, just with the exception of today, we might meet another time in the day, just depends, but we'll probably only meet in the morning. Libra Club will be meeting in the afternoon, so the late afternoon. So, thank you very much.